Scott. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this 15-minute franchisee interview. I know that our candidates who are looking through the discovery process, hearing different owners' perspectives is super valuable. Would you start off by just sharing like your name, your location, what year you became a right-at-home franchise owner, and how many territories you own?
Okay. My name is Scott Hill. I am located in Genesee County, Michigan, which is near the city of Flint and includes the city of Flint. I became a franchise owner in 2021.
Okay, okay, perfect. And then what was your background before becoming a right-at-home franchise owner?
I was an engineer. My degree is in engineering and a master's degree in business, but I worked in the automotive industry as an engineer and as a manager
Okay,
before starting this franchise.
perfect. And then why did you choose? I mean, that's a right-at-home's a completely different career, than what you were doing previously. So what made you decide to join right-at-home and just completely do a career change?
Yeah, it's a completely different career for sure. So there were several factors involved. One is I observed my father going through some health concerns
Mhm.
and his basically failing health. And I noticed that whenever he was in a facility, any kind of facility, whether it was a hospital or a nursing home, his condition, at least psychologically, actually got worse, you
Sure.
know. And it was so bad sometimes that he couldn't even follow any instructions they were giving him for therapy or anything because all he could think about was getting out of there and getting home.
Hmm.
So after seeing that, and then doing some research and realizing that the the population of older adults is growing so much, and we're going through a wave of that growth right now. Actually, I thought, gee, I could really do a good thing to help people who need care, who
Hmm.
would rather be at home for as long as possible, and it seems like a positive business case because of the growing population of people that will be in need of that kind of care.
Sure, absolutely. And I think, like what you were saying as far as what you experienced with your dad, it gives you that level of compassion and understanding and just really seeing firsthand like how much of a difference it can make to somebody, in just the way they view their life and, their ability to stay motivated and engaged in life versus just, feeling defeated and giving up.
Well,
Um,
yes, that was another factor is that you really make a difference in people's lives.
mhm,
And there's no other reward like that. Like my experience in the automotive industry was interesting and fun, and
mhm,
I got to do a lot of neat things as an engineer. But you're usually working with things,
mhm.
with objects. And so the rewards there are not like actually improving a human being's life. There's nothing that compares to that. So that was another factor.
Absolutely. And it's not even just, the client that you're working with, it's also like their family members, their community. I mean, just that ripple effect that you create with people who you may or may never even meet. I mean, it makes such a difference. And, I'm so grateful to people like you because, I've been through my own experience with my grandmother and, it just gave me that passion to, hey, you know what, I want to find really amazing owners. It gives me that sense of purpose to get up and try really hard every single day. And I see that same purpose and passion in you, which I can only imagine, comes through with your caregivers, those people you recruit, as well as those clients and their family members that you interact with. So thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome. Yeah, we talk about that with my staff a lot, that, that kind of reward is really what we're working for. It's why we do this.
Absolutely. And tell me a little bit about, and your journey may be a little different. So you became a right-at-home franchise owner in the middle of the pandemic. So
Yes.
what does your typical day look like? Because I'm sure it looks different for you coming through at that time versus somebody who started pre-pandemic.
Mhm. Well, thankfully, we're out of the severe pandemic
Mhm.
stage, but that was very difficult. Um, it required us to learn how to work remotely,
Hmm.
outside of the office. And that forced us to find ways to do that and to become, somewhat efficient at that.
Hmm.
So that's the silver lining there, is our flexibility that we have now with our staff and our office environment is really good. And that's one of the, benefits that my staff enjoys now, is that we can work from home sometimes,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. But
Sure.
a typical day is, we have a morning meeting every morning with my staff to review what might have happened last night with our clients, anything significant that happened that we need to address, or that we had to address the night before, and also any things we need to address this morning. Are there any open shifts where a client needs care but a caregiver wasn't available, or something that we need to fill that shift? So those kind of things we talk about. And we talk about plans for the day,
Hmm.
as far as recruiting efforts, or inquiries that we need to follow up on, and maybe assessments, potential client assessments, where we go into their home and we assess their needs and see if we can help them. Those kind of things, we make all those plans. And, then we go about the business of doing those things. We may
Hmm.
be doing some interviews of new caregivers,
Hmm.
or hopefully some orientations of new
Yes.
caregivers we're actually hiring. And, following up with some referral sources for trying to find, new clients. And addressing anything that arises throughout the day with our clients. There's always something that pops up that's interesting. And at the end of the day, some accounting, paying bills, and
Yes.
hopefully cashing some checks.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love just the fact that it sounds like you have got such good communication with your team. I mean, I
Yeah,
know that's something at corporate that we do is we have a meeting, almost every single day during the week work day. And we just, talk about different things. And what it does is it allows us to be so connected, allows us all to be working with that same purpose, and mission, and really just to learn a lot from one another too. I think it makes us all better. And, that it's all those little things, that I think makes such a difference that you may not even realize, because it does. It keeps people engaged and keeps people accountable and working towards those same goals.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and another thing, and you can tell me if you feel the same way, is I always feel like, seniors, they always wanted to be able to age in place. I feel like the pandemic really highlighted for their family members to get on board. They want to keep their family members at home as long as possible, because they have access to them. They can go and see them. It's not going to be, one of those situations. And I think that's awesome to have both the family and the senior on board as well. Are you seeing
Yeah.
that a lot when you're talking to family members?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I've never heard a senior say, I want to leave my home and I want to live in
Yeah.
a hospital, or
Yep.
I want to live in a nursing home. Never heard that, right?
Absolutely.
So they definitely want to stay at home, and it's, but that could be a challenge to family members,
Mhm.
and that's where we come in. That's where we can help.
Exactly. And then, what do you feel like is the most valuable part of support that you receive from right at home?
Well, we have a performance coach that
Mhm.
we meet with periodically, and that's really valuable, especially for a new owner that doesn't have a lot of experience.
Mhm.
That's a great resource, because that performance coach also coaches many other franchise owners in the region. So
Mhm.
they have a lot of knowledge, and they can reach out to all those other owners to get questions answered that you might have, if they can't answer the question directly, and things like that. So I think um, having that performance coach by your side is really valuable. And the other thing is just the collective knowledge of all the other franchise owners
Yes.
in your area or your region or your state. So
Mhm.
here in Michigan, we have a meeting monthly with all the other Michigan franchise owners, and we share, experiences and knowledge and suggestions. And so that's very valuable.
Absolutely. I love that. And then thinking about, when you went through this process, in 2021, what's one piece of advice that you would give a potential candidate, looking to become a right at home franchise owner?
Yeah, well, that would be to reach out and develop relationships with those other franchise owners in your state or your area, because they've been through what you're going through right now.
Mhm.
And that experience is so valuable. And tapping into that experience is priceless.
Perfect, perfect. Well, Scott, thank you so much for your time today. It's been such a pleasure to connect with you. And, what you do really does make a difference. I know we all appreciate you. There are thousands of people out there that do, some you'll meet, some you never will. But, at the end of the day, you are making such a huge impact in so many people's lives. And we are so grateful for you.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Yes. Have a great day. Thank
You
you.
too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.